Hi, this video tutorial is designed to show you how to make this, the opera box, using my new John Next Door opera box die. As you can see, it has a fitting lid and the base, also has a solid, neat bottom to it, and the detailing is all in the lid. Again, there's more pictures at the beginning of this tutorial and a few more at the end. This is the first tutorial in the series on the opera box, as I will be showing you in later episodes how to extend it to make bigger boxes and different sizes and styles. So, to get started, these are the pieces that we need cut using the die. And the die will cut you the base section, the lid, and there's also a bonus on there which cuts you the base, cuts you the gerbera flower, and also will cut you a slightly smaller base, which we're not going to use in this tutorial, but again, in a later one, I'll show you some of the uses for that. So, to put the box together, it couldn't be simpler. Simply cut your chosen card. I've used 300 GSM luster card, and this is the Royal Auburn luster card by Crafts 2. But as you can see, hopefully here, you get the cut piece, but all of the lines are embossed onto it. And this occurs usually without you having to emboss the die at all. It's been designed so that one pass will actually cut and emboss all the lines needed. Now, as you can see from this, it's one full sheet of A4 which will cut the base and the lid, and then an extra scrap of card for the extra bit at the bottom and for the flower. To put this together then, I'm going to move the lid out of the way. Very simple. Fold on each of the lines, and again, I'm not using a bone folder for this. I've found that the embossed lines on there are good enough just to be able to fold it by hand. I'm just folding in now the flap at the side and then each of the flaps at the base. So fold those up. To adhere it together, you can choose any method you want. I've found the best way to do this is to use a strong tape runner, which will glue the box for the time being, and then add wet glue, which will make sure that the box stays glued together for all time. If you just use a tape runner, regardless of how strong it actually is, what will happen is eventually you'll get creep, and that's where the glue will start to dry out and your box will pop open. You can see there, just sealed and very, very easy. Next we need to do the lid, so I'm going to pop that to one side and bring the lid piece in. Now the lid piece has been mathematically checked to make sure it's exactly correct and fits on top of the base. So it's been made a little bit larger on each of the 5 panels. And all you need to do is fold along each line. So I'm going to fold along the centre and then fold each of the panels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 tabs. Now, when you fold in the tabs for the lid, you need to fold them forward, then back, forward and back a couple of times. What you want to do is to get these very loose, as when the box is completed, this section will actually turn back on itself. Next thing you need to do is just fold in on each of the curved folds, and again, they're very obvious on the actual die cut when it comes out of your machine. I then fold each of these circular tabs back over to the front. That's one of the reasons I've used a card like this, so you can see the tabs are folded back because of the white. The next step is to repeat, so we add a little bit of tape so that it's glued together for now, and a little bit of a good strong wet glue so that it stays glued forever. And we're just going to then place them together and seal the join. Just make sure nice and glued. The next step is to put the base in the middle and just push each of the square or straight lines into place. And it's so much easier to show this than to try and describe what I'm doing. What we're trying to achieve, just make sure I've got that glued properly, is we're getting on the top a little star shape. So hopefully there, and again that one's going to keep coming unattached for me because I put too much glue on. But I'm getting a little star shape. Effectively what you're making is a little crown. And you can see from the star on the top. Now, if this happens, which it keeps occurring to mine, I'm just going to clear the glue off and add for the minute one glue dot, just to make sure I've got that instant grab. There we go. So that's correct. The next step is to simply push all of those into the centre. If you can see, it actually folds exactly into the flower button with the 5 petals. So I'm going to turn it over and make sure each of those tabs come through. What we would then do is you simply can either fold each of the tabs down, or you can glue them, or as I'm going to do with this first one, add a glue dot to make sure that they're attached. But if I just fold the rest, you'll be able to see exactly how it works. So fold each tab in. There's no other way they can go if you make the fold correctly. Simply push up and there is your lid, which you can leave whole. You can pop a little pearl in the centre, and depending on card it will go very tight in the middle, or you may have a little bit of a hole, or you can, as I'm going to do on this occasion, cut 2 of the gerbera flowers, which come as a bonus in the set. I've just put 2 together here with one of the Crafts 2 gems in silver in the middle, and I'm going to slot that on top of my lid. Once you've got it on the first time, it will slide extremely easily. All we need to do now is attach the base, and always put the base on when the lid is in place. So I'm going to turn it upside down and bring in the correct size of base. And the correct size from the 2 dies that are included in the set is the larger of the pentagons that are in there. So a little bit of tape runner, and then just a little touch of glue, of a wet glue, just to keep it going. There we go. And the reason we put the lid on is that allows us to have the box in exactly the right shape for the base to fit. So I'm going to marry up one edge of the base with one of the flaps, and then simply close it down, manoeuvring the box slightly so that the base fits. And when I pop it down, I've got a perfect fitting base. And again, at home you would take that little bit longer and make sure your glue's correct. Get that in the right place. And as per usual with these things, everything is falling apart, which is usually what happens to me. So what you would do is take something heavy and just pop it down inside. Now if you want to at this stage, you can cut the smaller pentagon in the set. You can glue that and add it into the base, and that will just strengthen the base should you be putting something heavy on. So I'm going to pop my base back up, strongly put my flower back in place, and slide my lid down. And there is your completed opera box. For more inspiration and more ideas using this and many other dies, visit my blog, which is www.johnnextdoor.blogspot.com, or watch some of the other videos that will be coming in the coming weeks. Enjoy.